now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rad, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular Broadway columnist, whose article on celebrities appears in Motion Picture Magazine, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, a charming, witty, and best-selling fellow, author of Treadmill to Oblivion, Mr. Fred Allen.
Thank you. And on my left, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who told me that she knows a school teacher who recently went into Birdland. She thought it was a branch of the Audubon Society.
What's her name? All right, don't tell them who I am.
Oh, Miss Arlene Francis.
That's all right, we've done it.
An afterthought.
Thank you, Fred. And on my left,
I thought this was What's My Line, not What's My Name.
substituting for the vacationing Bennett Cerf is a gentleman who enchants people not only across the operatic stage, but across every crowded room in the nation, Mr. Ezio Pinza. And Ezio, since you haven't been here before, I just want to tell you that now is the time that you have a message for John Daly.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. What a wonderful surprise. Thank you very much, Ezio. This will be a birthday I'll long remember. It is not everybody who has the great Ezio Pinza to sing happy birthday to him. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight we have some very nice people with some, we hope, kind of difficult lines for the panel to fathom. And we'll have a famous guest challenger a bit later on. But right now, I think it's time for our experts to meet the first challenger whose line has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, sir? Arthur Burke. Right, sir? How are you, Mr. Burke?
Hello.
Wait a minute. Where are you from, Mr. Burke?
Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn? Well, fine. It's nice to have you with us. And as can always be true, you have friends in the house. And probably there are 4 good friends over there, too. But they would like to get a better chance to take a look at you. So will you take a hike, please?
Hello, how are you?
Mr. Burke, glad to know you.
Hello, Mr. Burke.
You're
All
from
right.
Brooklyn, are you? You're not happy about it, are you?
All right, Mr. Burke, you come over here, please, and join me. I think you probably know that the panel gets 1 free wild guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he writes advertising jingles.
Mr. Allen.
I think from Brooklyn, Mr. Burke is the president of a Pee Wee Reese fan club over there.
Miss Francis.
I think Mr. Burke's a scientist.
Mr. Pinza.
I think Mr. Burke grows a tree in Brooklyn.
Grows a tree. No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Arthur Burke. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel... All right. Mr. Burke, you know how we score this operation, do you?
Yes, sir.
Fine, then I shall not have to give the explanation which I think is beginning to bore some people. We'll just get right into it and tell the panel that you are salaried. And we'll begin the general questioning with Fred Allen.
Mr. Burke, is there a product involved in what you do?
Yes.
Is this product in widespread use?
Yes.
Is this product something that would be popular all through the seasons?
Yes.
Is this product something that comes out in different shapes and models and styles every year?
Yes.
It does.
Yes, I think we can say that it comes out in different shapes, models, and styles.
Something tells me I'm going up a dark alley here. Is it something that you can go from place to place in?
Yes.
You can do.
Yes.
Is it something that some families get a new model every year? I should have left my mouth at home, John.
I would say
Came for
this,
the nodding.
Fred. It's a difficult question to answer on an every-year basis, but it is reasonable to assume that since there is a change in pattern, as you have previously caused us to note, that many families might get new models as time went on.
John, you have the longest epigrams that I have ever heard. Well, tell me, I'll ask you a frank question, Mr. Burke. I hope you'll... is Jack Benny going around in a 1905 model of one of the...
Not likely.
No,
not
I'm afraid not, Fred. That's
No.
1 down, 9 to go, Miss
Well,
Fred.
I tried.
Well, there was an awfully big laugh on, is it in widespread use?
I heard that.
Fred, you heard
Yes.
that. And so I'm wondering if it has anything to do in any way with apparel.
Yes.
If you spread pretty wide, is it something you'd want to know about?
Yes.
Is it something that would not be seen if somebody were to come to my house to a party? It would not show?
No.
It would show?
It would show.
Well, it isn't what I had on my mind. It is what you had on your mind.
I don't think you'd have one on your mind. Whatever it is.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Pinzer.
Tell me, would the people in Italy know this product?
Oh, yes.
They would. Is this product worn by both men and women?
No.
No, it is not worn by both men and women. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is it useful as well as for ornamental purposes?
Yes.
It does something besides attract the eye.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Would an Italian movie star wear one of these?
Could.
She could.
Yeah, she could.
Most certainly.
Do you wear just one at a time?
Yes.
Well, would you wear it winter and summer?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, to the degree that you have any need or desire to wear, you can wear winter or summer. Mm-hmm.
Is it worn above the waist?
Yes.
Is it worn below the neck?
Yes.
And it'd show at a party?
In Brooklyn.
Could we have a conference? Would you like to have an idea?
You may have 20 seconds for a conference.
Possibly it is something to do with maternity clothes. Because it's widespread and it would show, and you get a new model every once in a while.
I think you may have something there. All right, then, courtesy of Miss Francis. Is this worn by ladies, particularly?
Yes.
Is this worn by ladies in a very happy state?
Yes.
Is it a maternity jacket of some kind or dress?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've got the product. What is it that Mr. Burke has to do with these?
Well, he sure doesn't model them.
No, he doesn't model them. That's right.
He designs them.
He designs them. That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
He sells them.
Sells them is
That is
right.
And I'm sure the way Brooklyn is growing, he's doing a great business over there.
But top-notch frocks. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you, and it was
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
top-notch 5 or 10 minutes from the program. Thanks for being our guest. It was good to have you on What's My Line, sir. All right, panel, a very good beginning for you. Now let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? F. Henry Burkhart. Right, sir? Where are you from, Mr. Burkhardt?
From Vermont.
Oh, wonderful. We haven't had anybody from Vermont with us for a good long time. Fine state. I would almost venture a guess as to its being called that, but I won't, because I'd probably be wrong like I was about the worms, and it's a short life, you know? So I would just ask you if you'd take a small hike down, let the panel get a better look at you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Burkhardt.
Mr. Burkhardt, I have friends in Putney. Putney, Vermont.
All right, Mr. Burkhardt, if you'll come over here, please, and join me, sir. At this
I
point,
doubt
we
it.
let the panel have one free guess as to what your line may be. And we'll begin the free guesses with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think he writes free verse.
Writes free verse, Mr. Allen.
I think he owns his own quarry up in Vermont.
Miss Francis.
I think he taps trees for maple syrup.
Mr. Pinza.
I think he designed dresses for women.
No, he does not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Burkhardt. At the same time, we will tell them what his line is, but panel's going to have to work it out. All right, Mr. Burkhardt, do you know how we score this? Every time you can give the panel a no answer, I flip a card. And 10 flips, and you have won the game, because that's what we're here, is playing a game. Mr. Burkhardt is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Burkhardt, are your services used by both men and women?
Yes. But-
You were dubious because I didn't say
Yes.
male and
All right,
female. I'll change the question. Are
No, that's right. Mr. Burkhardt very nicely wants to qualify. You want to qualify this?
Mostly by one sex.
Mostly by one sex.
Yes.
Here we go again. Well, we've had maternity dresses. Let's give the men a break. Is it mostly for the men that your services are useful?
No.
We're going to give the women everything tonight, all right?
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Pinza.
So you deal with women?
Yes.
Good. Do you teach them something? Teach them something?
No.
Not, I would think we'd have to give a note of that. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do you take on more than one at a time?
Yes.
Jolly good now.
Do they benefit by whatever it is that you do for them?
Yes.
Do you speak to them?
Yes.
When you do whatever it is?
That would be a part of the service performed. It's very reasonable to expect that Mr. Burkhardt would speak to them.
Are they of various ages, these ladies?
Yes.
To the degree that they're not all of one age, they are of various ages.
Well, are they mostly over 15?
Yes.
Are they under 50?
Yes.
Are any of them of school age?
No.
Conference?
Are they of school age? When do they stop going to school in Vermont?
Well, John's not getting any place. Well,
Mr. Burkhardt has felt that perhaps it would be nicer if we gave you an affirmative answer.
he's a
Very nice.
stickler.
Are they attired in any special costume or covering when they see you?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you perform these services indoors?
Yes.
You perform them indoors.
Most.
Fortunately, in Vermont, it's pretty cold out there in the wintertime. Do you have certain hours that you function? From 8 to 5 or 9 to 4, something like that?
Yes. In a
Yes.
general sense, yes,
Yes.
I think so.
Do you work in an educational field?
Yes.
Do you work in a university or school or playground?
Well,
Meet people in doorways?
Well, you're in the general area. I think that'd be fair, don't you, Mr. Burkhardt?
But it is an educational
Yes.
service that you perform.
Yes.
Is it confined to one subject?
No.
No, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
You said you do not teach, however, you told Mr. Pinza, correct?
Yes.
Do you train them in any way or advise them in any way?
Yes.
Is advice what you give mostly, would you say?
No.
All this.
Small conference.
Technically and literally, it isn't what I do. But you're in relation to individuals.
Give John a no on this.
Let's give it to him.
Burkhart's been real good to you. He says, we'll give it to you, because in his basic relationship with individuals, he certainly could give advice. Yes.
May I ask if Mr. Burkhart works for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do you have anything at all to do with the clergy in any way, Mr. Burkhart?
No.
No, I think actually, Mr. Pinzer, I give you 1 minute. See if you can knock this over.
Do you touch these women when they come to you?
You talk to
Touch
these
them.
people.
Yes.
You do.
Did you say talk or touch?
Touch.
Touch. No, that is not necessary. I'm going to flip the
Could
cards.
I have one little weenie?
All right, you can have one
Have
little...
you an executive position at this
Yes.
education? Are you the dean or the president?
Yes.
Yes, I think we'll flip all the cards anyway, and I'll tell you, you got it actually, Dorothy. Dr. Burkhart is the president of Bennington College,
Oh,
a woman's
really?
college, which has a few men students, which is why that answer went that way. And Dr. Burkhart...
The thing is, it doesn't
One last thing, Dr. Burkhart, I flipped all the cards over because Dr. Burkhart specifically said, if I do manage to puzzle the panel for a bit, please see that all that comes to me goes to the scholarship fund. So we flip all the cards and give our thanks to you, sir, for being our guest. Nice to have you with us. In just a moment, we'll meet tonight's Miss... The special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends in the panel are blindfolded, and the blindfolds are all in place, are they, panel?
Yes, Mr. Daly.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Ezio Pinza.
Huh. Are you in the entertainment business?
Mm-hmm. And how that means.
Am I right in assuming that I am talking to a lady?
May we?
Are you known in film?
Yes.
Have you played on the stage, on Broadway?
No, never.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would you say that your chief fame has come from films, then?
Yes.
Have you ever appeared on television before?
Quite a few times, yes.
Are you a leading lady type rather than a character actress?
Yes.
Are you a glamour girl? I could let John...
Yes.
All right, are you blonde?
Not tonight, no.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Were you born in this country?
Yes.
That's the end of me. I was too. Oh, I'm still on.
Yeah.
I thought I'm so accustomed to getting brushed off. Are you appearing in a picture that's currently on Broadway?
Mm-mm.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Have you been in pictures for the last, 5 years? Yes. Would you be considered do you play lighter parts rather than heavier parts? Both. What do I do, John?
Actually, I think we'll give you a basic guess on that, if our guest agrees.
Mm-hmm. Do you do anything other than act? Do you dance or sing? I try. But did you make it?
Yes, our guest is known rather well for another talent beside that called acting.
Is it singing, then? Mm-hmm. But you're primarily known as an actress, right?
Well, and on my birthday, too. Well, let me see. I would say this, that our guest is certainly well known for her appearance in films in which she is a leading lady and therefore an actress, but she has also a reputation as a singer.
Have you appeared at all in nightclubs?
Yes.
Did you appear in nightclubs before you went into pictures?
Yes.
I'm nowhere. Are you connected with any particular studio, or did you have a long run at one particular studio?
It's got to have a conference.
Oh, I'll bet you hate it, too.
Our guest has very properly pointed out, Miss Francis, that that is two questions in one. If you would care to break it down into a single question, we would consider giving you an answer.
Were you, at the time that most stars were associated with studios instead of freelancing, were you at that time associated with studios?
Very much so.
Well, let's take a studio then. Were you associated with 20th Century Fox?
A little.
But that was not the major one. Is that what you're saying?
No, no.
No, you were with another studio longer.
Yeah, yes, that was not a major one, no.
Were you associated with Columbia Pictures?
A little.
Well, I tell you. Girl hasn't missed a thing. Paramount Pictures.
Very much yes.
That was the main studio at which you worked, Paramount Pictures. Well, Ezio, you've been in pictures. I'm going to pass it to you and see if you can think of the stars that have been associated mostly with Paramount.
I have no idea. She has no picture running now. Tell me, are you over...
20 is as far as we go.
Well, she has been associated with Paramount, with many studios. It must be a long time she's been in pictures.
Oh, well, maybe 25 then,
Yeah.
Ezio.
Are you over 30? Let me ask you.
Our guest has pointed out that a lady who would tell her age would tell anything. We pass.
I have no idea. I have to pass.
All right, well, Mr. Pinsey, you may pass, then Miss Kilgallen. And we have about a minute to make it.
Are you, at the moment, a brunette?
Yes.
Are you usually a brunette?
Yes.
Are you married?
Very much so.
Have you some adorable boys?
Beautiful ones.
Have you and I something in common? Like a first name?
Oh.
Go, Dorothy,
Yes.
go.
Are you Dorothy Lamour?
Dorothy Lamour. Thank you very much. You know, one of the wonderful things, panel, about sitting over here is watching the light hit. Arlene asked one question. I was looking at Dorothy's face, and it just lit up like a Christmas tree. All of a sudden, all was clear, and I could just see her champing at the bit to try to get to it. Congratulations, panel.
Champing at the sarong is what we say in this
Champing
case.
at the sarong. Dorothy Lamour, and a wonderful guest she was. We'll be back in just a moment. Again for my birthday greetings, and thanks for very ably filling the seat of Bennett Cerf, who's off on his vacation. Nice to know that I can go to Fanny and see you there. Maybe one of these days I'll sing to you from the orchestra. Until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
And happy birthday again, John. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy. Happy birthday, John. Good night, Arlene. Good night, Arlene. That's twice. I missed the
You made
first
it up.
time.
Good night, John. Happy birthday, and I hope everybody in the audience has a chance to see Ezio Pinza in Fanny. He's charming, and it was lovely to have you with us. Good night, Ezio.
Thank you very much. Good night. Good night, John.
Good night, Ezio. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Get your game and you know you're at GSN. Here's the new game that's filled with loads of fun. Get your game.